Hello everyone and welcome back to another build video. This is a build that I had posted prior to the redefined patch, however with some minor changes that I have made to the build, and the changes that came with the patch and were mostly aimed at bows. The build has now changed quite significantly, and I am confident to say that this is perhaps the strongest build that I have ever posted, and it may be the strongest build that I will ever post in this patch. The changes have allowed the build to be played in both melee and range format, and you can see this in the videos of boss fights that I've included in this video, where I try to actually show sort of a hybrid way of playing this build. If you are interested in taking a deeper look at the build components and affixes and rune selections, you can definitely take a look at the build video that I had posted before, and the links for them will be up at the end of this video, and you can take a deeper look into both the bow build and the original build that was posted on this subject. So let's take a quick look at the build components here. I won't be going too in details about these, and I will also include a short video of an Echo Knight fight that will be at the end of this video, and in that particular fight I am not using any echoes. So for our main hand weapon, we are using the Wind of Death. This is a unique weapon, therefore you cannot change its rune composition. The affixes are also not changeable, so the only thing you can do here is to slot it with lightning infusion. For our offhand weapon, we are using Patience. This is because Patience uses the same weapon requirements as the Wind of Death. The rune selection is arrow, lightning arrow, knockout shot, and multi-shot. You can switch the knockout shot with evasive shot if you do have that particular rune in your inventory. It is infused with lifesteal, and our affixes are damage increase and healing increase based on durability, dodge stamina cost decrease by 40% at low health, and indestructible unrepairable combo. Our helmet is a leather helmet, and by the way, this is, you don't have to use the exact same set. This is obviously, I was trying to get the samurai look going on, but as long as you have the same kind of armor as I'm showing you and you have the same affixes, this will be fine. So for the leather, for helmet, we have a leather helmet. It is infused with shock buildup. Then we have lightning damage increase, gain focus on inflicting status, healing, and damage taken decrease based on durability, and it is finished off with stagger resistance decrease by 26%. Our main armor piece is a plate piece. It is infused with healing increase. Then we have focus gain increase and damage taken decrease at low health, stamina recovery by up to 20% based on durability, and overall speed increase by 15% after inflicting shock status. Then we have max health decrease by 14%. For our gloves, we are using a set of mesh gloves. They are infused with focus cost decrease, shock buildup increase by 20%, healing increase by 15% based on durability, damage taken decreased by up to 10% based on durability, and gain stamina on staggering enemies. Finished off with max health decrease by 14%. For our pants, we are using a pair of cloth pants. We have stamina cost decrease for the infusion. Then we have focus gain increased by up to 15% based on durability, healing increased by up to 15% based on durability again, damage taken decreased also based on durability, and we have dodge stamina cost decreased by 40% at low health. Finished off with drain health in combat. The affix choices are very important, and they are, as far as I can tell you, not flexible with this build. If you need more information on why we have chosen what we've chosen, please refer to the video link at the end of this one. For our rings, we are using agility ring, plagued ring and willow cap ring. Two things to mention if you are just starting up with this build and you find it a bit challenging, you can switch your willow cap ring for a stone tusk ring, and this will give you more than enough damage reduction. And the second point I'd like to make is that if you are going to go more ranged version of this, you can decide to again change your willow cap ring for a band of calmness to give you more focus in order to be able to use your bow skills more often. And the last point I'd like to make, if you do not have a plagued version of the helmet piece, you can always go with a magical piece and again go with shock build-up, lightning damage, healing increase, and get armor increased by 20%. This will effectively give you the same amount of damage reduction as you would get out of this helmet setup. That's it for the build components. I hope you enjoy this build, and do not be afraid. This might look like a complicated build or not a beginner friendly build, but it is very easy to play. It's very forgiving. The only issue is you are going to have to find yourself a wind of death, and the build really depends on this. So as long as you find yourself a wind of death that is found in the crucible or the pestilence areas, and you can find any of these pieces, which you should have, and get the same affixes as I've shown you, this build will work like a charm, and I'm confident that you will love it. Here is the character stats video, and let's jump into the Crucible and the Econite fight. Okay, before we start the fight, I had a very interesting conversation with two of the viewers that mentioned I used too much parrying in this particular fight. I do not want to be dismissive of their concerns, and I do think it's valid because I can see why that would make it seem like I'm the one driving the build, as opposed to the build doing the work. The best I can do is to show you the first part of the fight by dodging the attacks and just weaving attacks in between, and then after I'm just going to revert back to my old style. I think that's a fair compromise that I can make, and hopefully that will clear up any confusions that may exist about the build viability. All right. Come to your prison, Sivian. I'm not stuck in here with you. You're stuck in here with me. Anyway, I think this is one of the strongest builds in the entire game, and it has gotten even better now that bows are completely viable. All you'll have to do is take your bow that's in this build and remove those legacy runes on it and fit them with the runes that I mentioned in the previous bow builds. And you'll have a build that will do pretty much everything. You can do range with it, you can do melee with it. This is a build that will go through any part of the game so far as you are willing to invest a little bit of time in it. I think by far this is the strongest build I've ever made. And it might not seem like it might seem a little intimidating at first if you're just picking it up, but although the components, well, the only component that's locked behind Crucible is Wind of Death. The rest, you can just switch these for any piece of the same kind of armor. As long as you have one plate piece, you have a mesh glove, a pair of cloth pants, and a leather helmet. You can do it also if you don't have a plague leather helmet, it will do, because then you'll just have to switch it with another leather helmet, a magical one, and then make sure you roll armor on it. This will give you pretty much the same amount of protection as you would expect out of this. I've tested it. The numbers are so close that you will not notice it. Like, we're talking 17 damage versus 16 damage. But if you do want to adopt this build and you are just starting out and you're finding it to be a little challenging, all you really have to do is to change your willow cap ring with a stone tusk ring, and you will have so much damage reduction that it's just going to surprise you. So don't be intimidated by this build. This is by far, by no means I wouldn't say this is an advanced build. It just has one component that's locked behind the Crucible run. And if you ever do get this, I highly suggest you try this build. You will not be disappointed. Thank you for watching and have a great day. See you in the next build video. Thank you. Bye.